Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're on the wonderful Ginger Island as we're going to be covering a ton of Ginger Island related modding content for you guys. Ginger Island was a new addition to the game in 1.5 and is a completely separate space to Pelican Town. It's a very sort of end game area. This is where you have to go and find golden walnuts and you unlock Key's walnut room. You can get a lot of end game quests and it's overall just a really fun area. But of course there's always some other ways to jazz it up that can work for anyone's gameplay style. Before we get further on into the video, here is a quick disclaimer, a little bit of information regarding all of our modding related content. So first of all of these mods are downloadable through Nexus Mods. Nexus Mods is a really amazing site. It also showcases and has most of the mods that you'll find for Stardew Valley on there. Additionally, as of March 2024, the 1.6 update is out. This update has definitely affected mods, and I know that a lot of creators are slowly working on getting some of these mods updated. I cannot confirm or deny if the mods that I'm showcasing in this video will work with 1.6, solely because most of these mods will need a backing mod such as a content patcher, the updated Smappy, or something like alternate textures. Simply because sometimes an old mod might work with an updated content patcher, and as much as I want to test all of these mods out, my poor little computer cannot handle it. So just make sure that when you download your mods and open them up in your Smappy, that you quickly check to see any mods highlighted in red. And you can also check out this incredible website, smappy.io, which will show you a newer version of the mod if this one is no longer compatible. And then also if you want to keep up to date with your mods, just make sure to check out these purple ones here, which means that you can update them. And lastly, I will be listing all of the mods that I showcase in this video in the description below. I've broken them up into timestamps of the categories and then timestamps for all of the mods as well. So if there was a particular one that you liked, you can see where the timestamp is and then the link right next to it. Anyway, now that's out of the way, let's get back to the video. As always, I've gone and split all of these mods into a few different categories. I only have 4 categories for us to go through today. The Misc is a little bit of a big one because I had no idea how to categorize these ones separately. But starting us off, we have Farmhouse and Buildings mods. We then head into our map and recolor related mods. We then have a couple of NPC mods to go over. And then, as I said before, we're going to be ending it off with a miscellaneous category, which have got a lot of really cool mods in there, so make sure to stick around till that part of the video. As always, before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button and let me know what kind of modding related content you would like to see next. But with that out of the way, let's just get straight into the good stuff, all of the mods. We're going to start off with our buildings and farmhouse category, and firstly on this list we have the Tidy Cozy Ginger Island Farmhouse. This is a mod by the creator Amon, and I use a ton of their stuff. I currently have one of their shed mods installed because I just love the different way that they sort of decorate the houses and stuff and just make the spaces. This essentially gives you 3 different areas within your farmhouse and also allows you to have a custom rooftop or custom cellar. It just changes your Ginger Island farmhouse map into a small and cozy place with a little bit of a more realistic layout. It's giving seashore villa vibes for this one. Overall, I just love the look of the rooftop and the different ways that you can decorate it. There's a little pool there as well. I love the cellar to obviously have that extra space for casks and kegs, as a lot of us probably use Ginger Island as a way to make extra starfruit. And of course, all of the little hidden areas and just overall the space that you can decorate it. I love a bit of a smaller space when it comes to decorating. And this one, while it's got a few different levels, they're not too overly large. And I just love how it looks. This is a really, really cute mod. Up next on the list, we have the Buildable Ginger Island Farm. This is essentially just as it sounds and now allows you to build on Ginger Island. So you can now get your sheds, a slime hut, you can get some fish ponds, you can even get barns and coops over here on Ginger Island. Additionally, you can get Junimo huts and even obelisks over here to really just upend your life and move over to Ginger Island. I love the idea of this because, again, as I said, a lot of us will use Ginger Island in the late game to just mass grow starfruit or ancient fruit so that we can get wine and we can really get a process going for that money making. So it would just be fantastic to be able to have sheds that can home those kegs and also casks so that we can really make the most of our money. I just think it should be allowed that we should be able to have a shed at bare minimum on Ginger Island. Up next on the list, we've heard this name probably a few times. I love their mods, but this is Lynn's Ginger Island House. So Lynn's Ginger Island House adds in a couple of sort of more rooms to the Ginger Island farmhouse with a ton of different decorating opportunities. There are so many different ways that you can really decorate this space, and the modder has uploaded a few pictures with a couple of different vibes. So overall, it adds in 5 extra spaces with a really large middle space. You've got sort of 2 rooms up the top, and then down near the bottom, you've got 2 separate rooms, and then one of them has another little area off-put it. It's really fun, and I love the different opportunities and decorating ideas that you can do with it. Very great to, again, kind of upend your life and go live on Ginger Island. This is just making me realize I need to decorate my Ginger Island home because it's bad. Next up on the list, we have Loon Ginger Island Farmhouse. This is definitely a culmination of the previous few mods, where it's got that little bit of a smaller, cozier vibe, but still adds in some separate spaces. I really love how this one looks, and it is just a really gorgeous layout overall to have a sort of living dining, maybe a sort of aquarium or viewing space, and then your 2 separate rooms. It's very gorgeous. Next one following that one, we have Ash's Ginger Island Sauna and Farmhouse redesign. So this one is a 2-story house which has a sauna down at the bottom. It also gives you space for, again, popping things like those casks or kegs, or even just decorating to have a little bit of a vacation looking basement to your farmhouse. I absolutely love the different decorating options that you can do with this, but also just the versatility and usability of it. Having a pool area where you can regain energy can be really crucial for any player. So having it right there on your farm is so helpful, especially after a full day of decorating this place and placing a ton of new crops. You gotta go and just chill by the pool. Next on the list, we're almost at the end of this category, we have the Island Resort Furniture. This essentially just adds the vanilla beach umbrellas and beach towels as furniture for you to be able to place wherever you'd like. These are just really cute for decorating some outside areas, especially for decorating Ginger Island, because you can keep with that whole resort vibe. You can pop these on your farmhouse area. You can even make a little beach area in your house. You do whatever you want. Again, the options are limitless. And ending us off on this list, we have the Flower Island Hut. So this just essentially turns the island hut into a brighter and flowery version of the base game hut. It comes with 2 variations, a tropical hibiscus and a cherry blossom version. And overall, I just think that they're so cute. It's a nice, very subtle change over mod, especially if you're not really wanting to change how the base game stuff looks. I love the different flower options. Well, those were our farmhouse and buildings mods. We're gonna head straight on into our next category and waste no time with the maps and recolors. First on this list, we of course have Daisy Nico's earthy map for Ginger Island. This is just as it sounds, it's an earthy recolor for Ginger Island. And if you know me, I'm obsessed with Daisy Nico's earthy map recolor. So it is nice that we can finally have Ginger Island join the mixed. Next up on the list, this was a super fun one to explore, but this is the Lynn's Ginger Island Overhaul. So this essentially overhauls and changes how some of the areas look within Ginger Island. Now I will say, when I first looked at these, I didn't think there were any changes, but the changes are so significant. It pretty much just adds a few more sort of decorative areas, easier ways to walk around the island, adds in some really gorgeous foraging areas throughout, and some more secret areas to find. It just pretty much expands on what is already there, and I really love how it looks. It really just gives it some more decorating options, also gives it some more exploring options, and of course, for all of us farming besties, gives us some more space to plant some more crops. I do love the new areas that they have popped into this game, and overall, I think it is such a fun look to the game. Definitely one if you're sort of wanting a different vibe to Ginger Island. Next up, for all of you expansion lovers, we have Ginger Island Extra Locations. So this one just adds in 9 brand new locations for Ginger Island, including combat ones and an endgame mining zone. To access all of these areas, you will need to unlock all 4 zones of the island, and even has a legend that hints on how to unlock this endgame mining zone. I'm a sucker for anything expansion related. I love the game, but I also kind of just love to sit and play my own save for years. So I love having expansions added onto it to give me more reason to be able to play this game forever. I love how these different areas look, and I think it is so fun to have something extra to add onto that end game saves. Because again, once you hit a certain point, you get 100%. What are you really playing for? So I do really like anything end game related. I love how it looks, and I love expansion mods so much. And lastly, for this list, we have Star Amy's Island Valley. So this essentially just adds in some retouched and overgrown replacements for the island farmhouse, the trader, parrot platforms, and more, alongside tropical pattern wallpapers and extra vanilla foraging opportunities. It adds in some really nice reskins all throughout, and the wallpapers and flooring options added in with this mod look so cool in the farmhouse. I feel like it just works so well with the island, and overall just looks so gorgeous. Well, that was it for our our map and Recolours mods, we're heading into our second last category, and this is NPCs. We only have a few to go over, but they're still important. So starting us off, we have Pierre sells Ginger Island goods. It is just as it sounds. Pierre does not sell anything Ginger Island related even once you've unlocked it. So now with this mod, we are able to purchase seeds and saplings from Pierre's that can only be purchased on Ginger Island previously. This can be really beneficial if you are not really big on Ginger Island and don't really want to go down the super big grind it is of finding all the walnuts and even just exploring constantly to be able to get these items. It is absolutely fantastic that Pierre now sells them, and I feel like at the base game there should be a point where he would start to sell them. Next up on this list, we have the Ginger Island Mainland Adjustments mod. So this essentially adds in a dialogue key for NPCs to let you know when they are heading towards and returning from Ginger Island, and also the ability to add schedules after Ginger Island trips. Definitely something that a lot of players have noticed is that Ginger Island is not really integrated with the rest of the NPC scheduling and dialogue. A lot of the dialogue that they say doesn't make sense, especially when we have something like Ginger Island and the resort available for them to go and visit. As well, they would just normally head straight to bed after going to Ginger Island, with the exception of Gus, so they would just skip all their usual evening schedule points and not follow their normal schedule even if they leave at a particular time. This mod has a ton of configurable options to allow NPCs to wander onto the island southeast and island north, allowing Willie, Sandy, George and Evelyn to go to Ginger Island as well, and it also allows more NPCs to visit Ginger Island. This is such a fun and fantastic mod overall that just gives us some extra dialogue and also some extra configurable settings so that we can let more villagers enjoy Ginger Island. I mean, we work our butts off to get this area unlocked, especially to have access for the valley to be able to go there, and they don't use it as much as we do, so let's make it change. Next up on the list, we have the Ginger Island NPC overhaul. So this adds in some changes and also some expanded content for the Ginger Island NPCs. You can additionally pick what changes you want and which ones you do not want. It allows you to change Birdie's, Professor Snail's, and even Leo's vanilla looks, has some slight changes to their storylines, has the characters mention each other. For instance, Leo will sometimes mention Birdie, the snail, and the pirates to his dialogue, and for Birdie it even adds in a brand new event if you visit her side of the island during the days when pirates visit the cove. With Professor Snail, you can choose between a male or female professor, and changes some of his dialogue to talk more about the island, the parrots, and theories about its history. As well, the Goldman Frog gets a change and makes his dialogue plainer and less Gungan. There are some hopeful future plans from this mod creator, and overall, I do really love this change. I do feel like Ginger Island is such a fantastic area. It would be great to get some more events in general, but even just some extra dialogue, portrait options, and just things to customize your own gameplay to how you want to play it makes it really, really fantastic. Ginger Island NPCs need more love. And lastly on this list, we have spouses in Ginger Island. This mod allows your spouses and children as well to go and visit the island. They will have schedules unique to their personalities. However, you can configure all of this, have a different chance per day of going. If you have multiple spouses, you can choose which spouses to go. You can additionally invite them as well. And of course, your children can come to the island too. Absolutely love the idea of this. I personally haven't gotten as far as to like marrying and unlocking Ginger Island because I don't really do the whole spouse thing in the game, but I think it's really cool that they can finally come along, and as well when you have kids that they can do something else other than sit in the house all day. It is my biggest pet peeve and I'm glad that they can do more. Well, that was it for all of our NPC mods. We're heading into our last category, and in my opinion the most fun one, which is our miscellaneous one. So starting us off strong, we have the fixed Ginger Island beach garden pots mod. So this essentially removes the garden pot restriction in the beach area of the Ginger Island farm. So you can now cultivate your favorite flowers on the beach and complete your tropical bee house empire. A really great money making tool is growing fairy rose on Ginger Island and surrounding that with bee houses to get that fairy rose honey. I do love the idea that we can now pop all of this onto our beach just to remove the whole aspect of losing space on this farm area. Space is valuable, okay? And it is such a cute way to decorate the area too. Next up, I thought this one was really cool. This is the Start in Ginger Island mod. So this essentially means that when you make a brand new save, you wake up stranded in the island and your goal is to find your way back to Pelican Town. This is essentially a brand new game option and additionally is multiplayer compatible. As you progress through the island, the mod changes. The pros as well of starting in this island is that you will learn Dwarvish faster and you can get immediate tool upgrades. Of course, all of the benefits of Ginger Island in the early game. You can get an ostrich coop on the island and some peace and quiet from all of the NPCs. You have a pirate Clint who does your tool upgrades and breaks open your geodes. You have a pirate's weapon seller and an item recovery service. You get 4 brand new weapons and of course you need to repair Willie's boat to return to society. I do love the idea that we can just start off in Ginger Island and have a different way to play this game. I love the concept of sort of having to make our way back to Pelican Town instead of the huge grind it is to get all the way over to Ginger Island. It is a fantastic idea and a really cool overhaul to a gaming style. Next up on the list, we have the Ginger Island Leafy Dialogue UI frame. It's just a really gorgeous UI frame that you can add into your game that gives it a very Ginger Island inspired leafy look to it. Especially if you spend a lot of your time over on Ginger Island, I think this is a fantastic UI to be able to add into your game. Next up on our list, we have Early Ginger Island. Of course, Ginger Island is such a huge area and takes a lot of grinding, especially when you're really in that early game area. However, with this mod, you can now access Ginger Island early, all depending on your friendship with Willie. This also allows you to configure the boat fix materials, ticket price, and golden walnut requirements. So by default, you'll be able to access Ginger Island at any time as long as you have 8 hearts with Willie. However, if you reach Winter of Year 1 and you haven't unlocked it, you only need to have 4 hearts with Willie to be able to do that. And if you are not doing the community center or don't care about that, then in Winter Year 2, you don't have to have any hearts with Willie. You'll be able to unlock it. And of course, after completing the community center, this area will be unlocked to you. I absolutely love Willie. He's just like one of my favorite characters in general. So I'm always like max harding him as soon as possible. So I feel like this is a really great mod if you really want to focus on getting to Ginger Island as soon as possible, as opposed to really getting those last few nitty-gritty items, especially in those bulletin board bundles. Almost at the end, but next up we have Clean Ginger Island Beach. So this essentially just cleans all of the debris from the beach on Ginger Island Farm and additionally allows you to walk through the tide pools. That one sold me. I love the idea of being able to walk through them. They're not that deep, so why can I not just walk over it? It's just a really nice sort of visual looking mod just to make the area a little bit tidier. And the tide pools, honestly, a selling point for me. And last on our list and our last mod for today, I thought this one was really neat. This is Island Gatherers. So this essentially allows you to harvest crops automatically from Ginger Island using the power of parrots. So this adds in a new purchasable item called the Parrot Pot, which can be purchased from the island trader at Ginger Island. And once placed, the parrots will appear each morning and immediately harvest all available crops. When you right click on the Parrot Pot, it'll open up a chest-like inventory, allowing you to extract the harvested items. Again, Ginger Island is like such a different area and you have to, you know, go to a boat and pay to get there that it can be really easy to forget what you've grown there and when they're ready. Additionally, if you pop seeds into the Parrot Pot, they will replant them. This can just be a fantastic mod to just have it in the back of your mind, totally ignore it, and then come back and be able to collect all of those goods while still having them grow. For instance, hops, if you've got to go get them every single day, what's the point in going every single day if someone can just harvest them and then you can go maybe like once a week and just get 7 days worth of harvest? I think this is absolutely fantastic, especially because they will do it once per day. And if the parrots have successfully harvested anything, you will get a message in the morning to let you know that something is ready to grab. That was it for our Ginger Island modding videos. Let me know what some of your favorites were in the comments below as always. Truly, I do love Ginger Island and it is always so much fun to go and explore it, but I'm always so caught up on my normal daily ventures sort of within the game. So I do like that all of these mods add in different aspects to either make me want to go to Ginger Island more or really just make it so much easier on my brain. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I do also have my community Discord link in the description below if you want to come and join that just to see any more information as to when I'm going to upload next, or additionally when I go live over on Twitch or here on YouTube. But on that note, I will catch all of you guys on the next video. Bye everybody.